What's going on, everybody? Sorry about adjusting the computer really quick. Just so you know, sorry about being late. United Stand ran a little bit long, but people had some questions. Uh, so agnostic, you enter for the ticket. So there's a website in the comments. Hey Maria, how's it going? Um, so there's a in the video that we just did. There's a link below. If you go there, I'm pretty sure that's where you enter. That was my understanding. I haven't done that yet, but I honestly, even if I want it, I couldn't even be there. So yeah. But then Jack, I mean, it's all right, man. Like just when we have guests over on the United Stand, guys, be sure to be respectful of the guests. You can disagree with a guest, but at the same time, be respectful in your disagreement. That's all. That's all. But anyways, so we are here to talk about the NFL, guys. Excited to bring you my picks. So just so you know, real quick. So let's see how many I got right here. I got one. Actually, no, let's go with how many I got wrong. I only got, I think, 3 wrong this week. Again, only 3 wrong. What's up? That's what's up. Your boy. What's up? How's it doing? But real quick, thanks to everybody watching live right now. Agnostic Dan, Jack, Maria, thank you guys. Thank you guys, genuinely. But so we're going to start off. We're going to start off with the Thursday night game, which was Miami against Houston. I had Houston winning that game. They were a 7.5-point favorite, and there was an over/under of 44 points. So Houston won that game 42-23. So they beat the point spread like I said they would. Houston went out there, they handled their business, and they killed it. They killed it, honestly. And then Houston also just added big name wide receiver Demaryius Thomas. That's going to be crazy. Crazy. So, Dan, I'm actually going to talk about each trade. It's at least a decent one as I go through this. Houston adding Demaryius Thomas is going to be big time for them. Big time. Because that's going to add – you already have DeAndre Hopkins over there, and now you add Demaryius Thomas. Are you kidding me? Holy crap. And I get that Will Fuller just, went down for the year. But, man, oh, man, that's going to be a crazy, crazy wide receiver core there. I wish, Jack. But we've got the future Aaron Rodgers, don't we? What's up, Dexter? What's up, Dexter? How's it going, man? So moving on, this was the game in the UK that we did a bit of a live watch along for. Philly against Jacksonville. I picked Philly to win this game. They were a 3-point favorite with an over/under of 42 points. So final score was Philly 24, Jacksonville 18. And Philly, like I said, they were going to beat the point spread. They went out there and they did what they were supposed to do. And ultimately, Philly got back on track. I still have Philly winning this division. So, no, I mean, possibly, Jack. Possibly. So, it's all good, Dexter. But yeah, so with Philly just added Golden Tate, which that's a big time wide receiver for them to add too, because they've got decent guys, but they don't have a Golden Tate. Golden Tate is a good pickup, and honestly, my hope is because I've actually got Golden Tate on my fantasy team. My hope is that he'll bring back that he'll bring a certain confidence to him, and that'll be his go-to target for me. What's up, Pancash? How's it going? And then, so Jack Coleman just asked, when's Jay Ajayi going to be back? So Jay Ajayi tore his ACL, and he is going to be done for the year. So he won't be back until next year, unfortunately. So yeah, Philly was my pick. Philly went on and won it. That's what I'm talking about, guys. And that's okay, Cash. So when we do another watch along, you should join in on the watch along. It's a great chance for you guys to ask me questions about what's going on in the game, and I would love to teach you guys about anything in sports that you guys don't know. Like when it comes to the NFL, like if when I wind up starting to talk about the NBA, I'm going to talk about the NBA. I'm going to talk about the NBA probably about a month into the season, because that allows teams to kind of get into their ebb and flow and figure out what's going on. So anyways, moving on. So next up, I had Denver at Kansas City. I had Kansas City winning this game, and I think I had them winning by the point spread of 10 points. They did not win by the point spread of 10 points. Final score wound up being 30-23, but I did pick Kansas City to win. And Kansas City went out there and they absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it. And Jack, just it's Michael Jordan. That's not even a question. Not even a question. LeBron couldn't be in the old school NBA. He just couldn't. Jordan handled the old school NBA. So yeah, Kansas City went out there and they handled their business. I only saw this game through red zone, which red zone is when teams get inside of the opponent's 20, the 20-yard line and forward towards going to the goal to score a touchdown. So yeah, I was really happy that Kansas City won. I'm hoping now that Kansas City is going to be the team that will take down St. Louis later in the year. That's my hope. Because honestly, exactly like Dan just said, Kansas City are my dark horse for the Super Bowl. So if they go out there and they beat the Rams, I have no doubt in my mind that they could be that team. So yeah, Kansas City wins it. They didn't beat the over-under. I did say that they were going to go over the 54 points. They're barely under it at the score of 30-23. But, I was pretty close. Pretty close. I didn't think it was going to be over 54 by a lot, but I thought it was going to be close. Next up, we had the New York Jets at Chicago, and I picked Chicago to win that game with the 7 points. And then the over/under was 45 points. So final score was Chicago 24, Jets 10. So I killed it on all fronts on that one. And honestly, Chicago right now is so hot. So hot. Okay. But yeah, so honestly, Chicago really is hot, and honestly, like they're a team right now that I wouldn't be surprised if they wind up making a bit of a playoff run. Could really see it. So, Jack, we could talk about that in just a minute, because Golden State had a crazy game in the NBA the other day. They scored 92 points in the first half. Holy crap. So next up, we had Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Pittsburgh was my team that I picked. I picked them to win by the points, and then the over-under was 50.5 points. Final score was 33-18. So I said bet the over, and they barely beat the over, and I picked Pittsburgh to win by the points. Pittsburgh went out there, and they killed it. All right, Agnostic, I'll catch you later. Hope everything's all good. But, yeah, so Pittsburgh absolutely killed it. So proud that, like, Pittsburgh's actually getting back to the team that they're supposed to be. They didn't start off the year really, really well, but they are starting to really come into their form. Everybody's hitting on all cylinders. In all honesty, if they get Le'Veon Bell back, that team is going to be terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Guys, I'll talk about that at the end. How about that? Honestly, there's some teams that are starting to hit form right now that, honestly, because of their history of being the teams that make it to the playoffs, you got to realize that, like, if Pittsburgh makes it to the playoffs, that's going to be a hard team to bet against, a really hard team. especially with how hot they're getting. Yeah, and exactly what Jack just said. And if Le'Veon Bell comes back, Le'Veon Bell is the best running back in the NFL, and it's sad to see him holding out for so long. But so Jack just asked my thoughts on Ben Roethlisberger. So honestly, I think that Ben Roethlisberger is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in all of NFL history. All of NFL history. He somehow manages to always find a way to win. I feel like he's an impossible guy to sack. I really, really like Ben Roethlisberger. Pancakes, that's actually a good way to look at it. It's kind of like rugby, but except instead of the play continuing on after you get a tackle and so the guy gets down to the ground, you basically stop the play, you move the ball to a certain point, and then you go from there. So, and then I really hope. And then Dan also asked, when do I think Bell will come back? Honestly, Dan, I don't know if he will this year. I don't know. Le'Veon Bell is in such a weird position with the NFL, with the NFL, with Pittsburgh, that I don't know. I don't think that he will, because I think he's just going to hold out all year and then get to be an unrestricted free agent. And I think that's what he wants, is he wants to be able to select his own team and have that long-term longevity and security. So that's just my opinion. We'll see, though. And so, Jack, I'll answer that at the end too. So I've got 3 questions I need to answer at the end of the picks here. So we're about halfway through here. So next up, we had Washington at the New York Giants. I picked Washington to win this game. They were a point favorite with an over-under at 42.5. I said pick the under. Washington won the game 20-13. So they beat everything there. And I'm really, really happy that, honestly, it seems like almost all of my picks, including the over-under, absolutely killing it this year. Or Minnesota's your favorite team for no reason. Well, I'm sorry to say it, Jack, but Minnesota was one of my wrong picks this week. Yeah, Dan, surprisingly, Washington are doing really well, but I'm still picking Philly to wind up beating them. Just my opinion, though. So next up, but anyways, there's not really much to talk about in this Washington and New York Giants game. Odell Beckham did make an absolutely insane catch for the Giants. I mean, absolutely insane, but they still lost the game. So until the Giants get a new quarterback, because Eli Manning needs to go, I see no way that the Giants will be successful. Eli Manning he makes questionable decisions way too often. Next up, we had Seattle at Detroit. I picked Detroit to win this game with the 3 points, and I said pick the over on the 49.5 points. So I was wrong on all fronts on this one. Seattle wound up winning the game 28-14. And so I didn't get anything in this game right. Very, very sad. Yeah, Dan, Manning is finished. He really is. Oh, yeah, and Jack, that OBJ catch a few years ago, holy crap. It's very rare you see something like that, and he actually equaled that catch in this game this last week. But so this game, I actually really didn't see many highlights from when I was watching Red Zone. So it's a little surprising, especially with, it seems like you had 6 touchdowns total in there. So kind of surprising, but oh well, at the same time. And in all honesty, I hate the Seahawks anyways, so it is what it is. Oh, Pancakes, that's a weird question. We can try and talk about that at the end, but it's so different. Agnostic, it's good to have you back. I'm happy that you're here. So next up, we had Tampa Bay at Cincinnati, with Cincinnati being a 4.5 point favorite and an over-under at 54. I think I remember said just pick Cincinnati to win. Cincinnati won this game 37-34. I did say pick the under on this too, and this point score got way out of hand. But like I said earlier, honestly, Tampa Bay has been all shootouts all year long. Like absolutely insane amount of shootouts. I mean, we're talking like they basically all their scores have been above 25 points for the entire year. That's not something you hear about very often. And the funny thing is that Tampa Bay is keeping up with all of these teams. So if they actually had a defense, could you imagine what they would be able to do? Like, it's kind of ironic that the teams that the Glazers have, both their defenses are bad right now, even though I don't think United's defense is bad. I just think that it's bad because we're not playing the right way. So real quick, so Dan said, I think it depends on – yeah, so and it's kind of what Dan said, Pancash, but we'll still try talking about it. George, I really appreciate that, man. I really do. Thank you. So have you ever been to at the stadium when there was a yes, I have, Jack. I will talk about it at the end of the stream because the one I was at, that was absolutely insane. So next up we had Baltimore. So I'm sorry, I got to talk more about that game. So Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. Cincinnati, I figured that, like I said, they always bounce back from whenever they play a primetime game, and they always play well, and they wind up winning the game. It's almost a guarantee. So if you ever see that in the future that Cincinnati is playing a primetime game, they're going to lose the primetime game, and then they're going to win the next week. Put the bet on it. Guarantee it. So next up, we have Baltimore at Carolina. Baltimore was a 2-point favorite with an over-under at 44. I was right on every count in this. I said pick Carolina to win this game, pick them to upset the Ravens, and then I said bet the over. And at 36-21, Carolina absolutely destroyed Baltimore. Absolutely destroyed Baltimore. Like, you couldn't have picked that score out. Like the Carolina, honestly, is just they're on playing on another level right now. Them and New Orleans. I can't wait to watch Carolina and New Orleans. That's always a fun game. Well, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Maybe I should get more. I should get some better mic quality too. Then that way you guys can just only hear my voice. So. Yeah, this game was honestly, it was a fun game to watch. And honestly, Carolina, like I said, they're playing amazing right now. Absolutely amazing. So Jack asked so that's actually a good question. And I would say right now it's football. It's American football, but basketball isn't far behind. It's really not. Thoughts on Irish accent. I like all accents from that UK area, Jack. So next up, we have Indianapolis at Oakland, with Indy was a 3-point favorite and an over-under at 49.5. I didn't expect Oakland to score as many points as they did in this game. Final score wound up being Indy 42, Oakland 28. And honestly, Indy really, really is starting to catch form too. Pancash maybe, but we're in the off season for baseball. So yeah, Indy honestly is just playing really well right now. And with Andrew Luck looking like he's being back and fully healthy, I have no doubt in my mind that Andrew Luck will continue to go through and do what he does, and that's be Andrew Luck and win. Like he's playing on another level right now, and not a lot of people thought that would happen after the injury that he had. So, yeah, we'll move on to the next game, which was the home game that I unfortunately had to miss for San Francisco at Arizona. It was even odds in this game with an over-under at 42.5. I did pick the over, which I probably shouldn't have, but I just had a weird feeling that we were going to somehow manage to score some more points. Final score was Arizona 18, San Francisco 15. So Arizona did win the game like I said they would. And let me tell you what, Josh Rosen put together an amazing last drive. I actually was at a wedding, and I pulled out my phone, and I actually literally caught in as the drive started when we were sitting at cocktail hour. And I caught the entire last drive of that Cardinals game. And Josh Rosen right there proved why he is the real deal going forward. Josh Rosen is going to be amazing. Amazing, amazing. Any other sport you watch besides American football? So, I mean, world football. So, Pancakes, I watch world football. I actually, Pancakes, in all reality, I watch all sports. Like anything that's available here in the States, I watch, which is basically, American football, world football, hockey, basketball, baseball, UFC. I mean, I watch it all, really. I really do. Yeah, George, I do watch baseball. We might do some baseball coverage, but baseball coverage is hard to do because there's 162 games in a year. It's a hard one. But yeah, so Arizona, I mean, honestly, there's really not much to talk about in this game. There wasn't really anything impressive other than the fact that my boy Larry Fitz finally got back to his form. He had eight catches for 100+ yards and 1 touchdown. I do watch that wrestling. I watch this wrestling. So we might cover pay-per-views. Maybe that's a good thing to do. So here's an interesting story for you guys about this Arizona Cardinals and San Francisco Giants game. San Francisco Giants, San Francisco 49ers. I'm sorry about that. So Larry Fitzgerald spiked the ball for the first time. Larry Fitzgerald isn't a guy to celebrate, and this was the first time he ever really, like, quote unquote, celebrated. He spiked the ball when he scored the 2-point conversion to put the Cardinals up 18-15. And the reason why he did that, he told the story afterwards that his son didn't come to his game for the first time in his career, and he said it's because he didn't want to watch his dad lose. And so Larry spiked the ball out of complete frustration that his son didn't come to see him win a game, which I completely get. So good job, Larry. You absolutely killed it. And honestly, Larry, I mean, we all love you. How long do you think Fitz has left? Dan, I don't know, because the rumors always come out that he's going to retire. I know, right, George? I know. Like, apparently his son wanted to go to the state fair instead. What crap is that? But so, Dan, I'm going to say that if the Cardinals can finish out the year decent, I think he'll come back next year. But we would need to probably finish above 4-12. Just my guess. Hey, no worries, Pancakes. I'm happy you were able to pop in here for a minute. Get some good sleep, man. But yeah, so I just thought I'd tell you guys that story since the Arizona Cardinals are my team. And in all honesty, if they were doing well, I might give them their own special segment, but they don't deserve it right now. In all honesty, it wouldn't get much views. So next up, we had Green Bay at the Los Angeles Rams, with Los Angeles Rams being a 9.5-point favorite and an over-under at 56.5. I told you guys that Green Bay was going to upset in this game. And according to the point spread, they did. Green Bay lost this game 29-27. So Green Bay, Ty Montgomery, what the hell were you doing? Ty Montgomery ran the ball out on the kickoff, and he left Aaron Rodgers on the bench. Ty Montgomery he got traded, thank God, to Baltimore, because I think that Aaron Rodgers might have killed him if he didn't. Like, you left Aaron Rodgers, who is the only reason you have a successful team, on the bench, because you decided to run the ball out and you fumbled. You're an idiot. Idiot of the week, guys. There's your idiot of the week. But honestly, this was a crazy shootout game. I actually did record this game because I was really interested in watching it. And this was a shootout. Everything about this game was fun to watch. So, I mean, good job by all involved. I mean, great on making an entertaining game. Great job. Yeah, Jack, honestly, I think Aaron Rodgers would be better suited just leaving at this point. But the only problem is he makes so much damn money that no one would probably take him. Just my opinion, though. Sorry. I'm getting a little bit of a tightness in my throat. So next up, we had the Sunday night game here, which was New Orleans at Minnesota. This was another game that I got wrong in some aspects. So I picked Minnesota to win. The game wound up finishing New Orleans 30, Minnesota 20. And Minnesota was a 1-point favorite. And so that tells you a lot when Minnesota's a 1-point favorite at home. So, I mean, ultimately, this game was what it is. Like, I mean, there was some good stuff to this game. And honestly, I've got Alvin Kamara on my team, and he's absolutely killing it. So I saw he got 2 touchdowns for me. But honestly, New Orleans looks like they're going to be a hard team to beat this year. If they had managed to be able to pull off, been able to pull off a trade for like Patrick Peterson or something like that, I think they would be a legit Super Bowl contender in the NFC. I really do. So Jack said, "Imagine if Rodgers and OBJ played together." Oh, dude. Honestly, Aaron Rodgers is so much like Tom Brady in that he makes all of his receivers better. Like, yeah, Jack, that Saints Stadium is very, very crazy from everything I've heard. I've heard they are crazy hostile. I actually would look forward to going to a game there because I heard that like everywhere around the stadium in New Orleans too is really, really interesting. So, yeah, but New Orleans won this game. Good job, New Orleans. Honestly, you're absolutely killing it this year, and I'm going to be interested in seeing how far you can actually make it. No worries, Mr. Exclusive. No worries. You guys want some Arthur? I'll give you some Arthur in just a minute. So last game, which I told you was going to be a snore fest, it was New Orleans at Buffalo, with New England being a 14-point favorite, and I said bet the over on the 44 points. I was wrong in that because I thought New England was going to go out there and absolutely batter them from start to finish. But New England won this game 25-6, and it took a couple of late scores to get that done. So it was actually surprising how well Buffalo played in this game. But Buffalo absolutely loved to play New England for some reason. I don't know why, but they always do well against New England. So, do you reckon that the quarterback even gets repetitive strain injuries in the shoulder? George, that's something that does happen. But typically, because they get a week off, it probably helps out. Like you get to ice your shoulder off and everything like that. It's not like baseball where you'll have some pitchers, going basically every day to every other day if you're a relief pitcher. And then for starters, you're pitching once every 5 days, basically. Anyone ever see the Barca midfielder Arthur? He's qualified. Well, I mean, Arthur's right here, guys. He's underneath the table bumping, and I'm sure you can see my computer moving. So he'll be up here in just a second. He just wants a butt scratch real quick. What the hell is so? Yeah, Buffalo is a city. It's a city in New York. But so we had some questions earlier. So Pankaj asked, what's my NBA team? My NBA team is the Phoenix Suns. Pankaj, if you're watching this later, I know you had to leave, but the Phoenix Suns are my team. And you're honestly, if you're ever curious, I'm all Arizona except for Manchester United. There's your best way to look at it. So, boys, they want to see you. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Hey, well, say hi to the people, Bubs. Can you say hi? I know. It's okay. It's okay. I wish he would look at the camera, guys. There you go. Say, Bubbles. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. All right, so you want to go? Go on. So in case anybody's wondering, Arthur is missing one eye. We adopted him like that. He actually had the stitches in his eye when we got him. And they said that it was likely due to when he was a puppy, because we got him about 4 months old. They had him there at the Humane Society for 3 days. And he wound up having damage done to his actual eye. And yeah, it was unfortunate, but he's he gets around just fine, other than he bumps his head occasionally, which is kind of funny. And on his blind side too, which makes it even more funny. But he's such a good dog. He really is. I mean, you guys don't even notice he's here, really. But actually, let's see if I can get him to speak. Arthur, speak. 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 Arthur, come here. Sit. Speak. Speak. Good boy. He's a good boy. All right, guys, but that wraps up my picks. And then, so I had a couple more questions. Jack, I know you asked me a question. I'm sorry, but I can't remember it right off the top of my head. Part of it's being sick and everything like that. Yeah, exactly. Agnostic pets or family. I can't remember who all asked questions. So if you guys had questions that you wanted to have answered really quick, I'd be happy to, answer anything right now. But yeah, it's so sad. But I mean, honestly, George, he really isn't any different. He's still got all of his energy, and he's still super cute, right? Like, imagine, I actually think that he's even cuter with only having the one eye. Add something to when he does his little poses and stuff, because he does do some funny poses. And so, Jack, that was your question. I'm sorry about that, man. So it really varies. They can go anywhere from 30 to 40 bucks a ticket. I'm sure they're cheaper other places. This is just in Arizona. They can go anywhere from 30 bucks a ticket to all the way to we pay we're some of the top of the line tickets in terms of the lower level, and those are about 140 a ticket. And then you have suites, which those go for lots of money. When I did the stadium tour at Old Trafford, I heard that there's a suite there that is $500,000 a season to have. That's absolutely insane. Could you imagine having to pay now, granted, that's a corporate, that's what corporate suites are. I appreciate that, Agnostic, but I couldn't even imagine, even as a corporate sponsor, paying that much money, but granted, you're making billions and you can do whatever you want, but yeah, so there are suites throughout the stadium, and the suites are absolutely gorgeous. Honestly, all of the stadium is gorgeous. It's I actually really love the Cardinal Stadium. I've been to a few different ones, and there's really no comparison right now to the Cardinal Stadium. Now, I've heard that the Cowboys Stadium and Atlanta's new stadium are really amazing. Same with Minnesota's too. So maybe one day I'll get to go experience all three of those. But if not, oh well. That's my hope, is to go experience all of those. I have a good idea, Arthur, to pick a weak result, 3-0. So the capacity of Cardinal Stadium is right around 75,000, right around there. And we sell out every week. But I don't know how much I believe that, because I see the empty seats every week. Yeah, Dan, Atlanta Stadium does look super beautiful. Jack, they really are. They really are. Both stadiums are absolutely beautiful. Yeah, Dan, I actually was surprised to hear that our capacity was greater than Manchester United's at this point. That is a little crazy to me. But anyways, guys, so I'm gonna give my player of the week. I'm gonna do this all starting next week, so I can take more notes. But this is due to some recommendations for my Premier League preview and review. So I'm going to actually incorporate it into my NFL one. I'm going to start doing player of the week, give a team of the week. Not necessarily a full team, because I don't want to have to pick out 22 people. That'd be kind of crazy. But probably do a position each and incorporate that into here. And then do a play of the week too. And I'll try and find a link for you guys and attach it in the video for play of the week, if I can. Ham roll of the week. It's no worries, Ryan. You're all good, man. We're actually just wrapping up too. So if you want to, you can go back and watch this to see how I did in my picks. Do NFL fans go to away games? I can imagine how big so Jack, it depends, but for the most part, I would say not really, at least not to every one of them, because the U.S. is so large. Yeah, no, Dan, easy. Ham roll of the week was Ty Montgomery. Not even a question. But anyways, guys, so I'm done here. I'm sorry I'm sick, so I'd keep going for longer, but my throat's at this point, I feel like I got a cough like every 3 seconds. So, sorry. Love you guys. Thank you so much for coming and watching. We had 9 people here live, 10 people here live at one point. So can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys joining me here live. Quick little fun fact. I'm actually going to be doing a Phoenix Rising vlog since I am going to California to go watch Phoenix Rising take on OC, and if they win, they get to the USL Cup Finals. So I'm going to do a vlog of that, and we're going to figure out how to do it. But I wanted to make sure that you guys at least saw some stuff about my trip. And then, yeah, just do Alaska have any teams? No, they don't. Agnostic. They do not. But anyways, guys, like I said, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video. Share it if you like it. I'd really appreciate it. It's this really does mean a lot to me, guys, that I get to sit here and talk sports with you guys during some tough times I've been having. So, like I said, have a great night, guys. Love you, and just keep doing you, because you guys are all amazing. Honestly, you are.